it going?
Hey, what's up? Nice to see you.
Just kind of going through the first game, watching the film, just kind of what's your main impression, main takeaways about where you guys stand, like as an offense coming off that first game?
Plenty to clean up, right? Plenty of, call them huddle errors, right? Tons of MEs, mental errors, pre-snap penalties, right? A lot of controllable things that, they played a base 3-4 defense, right? With outside linebackers, they'd switch it up and go to nickel. They'd play like a cover 3, 5-man rush, match type coverage. Like, it really doesn't get more basic than that. And we couldn't have had a more basic game plan, and there was still plenty of mistakes that are extremely avoidable, right? That's all the negatives. A lot of positives. 2 young quarterbacks played really well, got a lot of run, executed extremely well in difficult 2-minute situations. And there's a lot to be excited about. A lot of push from the offensive line. We got to run the ball better down in the red zone. Those are probably my main takeaways.
Is it more frustrating when it's the huddle errors and not like execution?
Way more frustrating, because it's the most controllable thing you could have, and whether it's lack of being in your book, or you're letting the game get to you, or you're tired and you get to the huddle and you don't hear the formation or the play call, you got to have the whole picture, right? And especially if we're going to play in the first 15 plays and we have 3 MEs in the first 10, it's like, we're killing ourselves, and either we're not taking it serious enough, or there's just too much to be said for things that are completely within our control in the National Football League.
With not having joint practices with San Francisco this week, like what do you all get out of those, maybe that you don't in the normal, regular joint practice?
One more time.
Joint practices are not happening this week.
Okay.
So like when you do get those, like, what do you get out of them? Like, what?
Yeah. Okay. Gotcha. Sorry. Coming from a place of ignorance, I apologize. Those are extremely good opportunities to go against a different look, a different rush, a completely different unit with different play calls, a lot of defensive call, or a lot of defensive structure might be a little bit similar, but the calls and the way they play certain plays are completely different, right? Like their structure of defense, for me personally, their defensive ends are hard upfield rushers. They pick a spot and they rush up the field, and they read to react, right? So that's a completely different look from what we just played, right? Where we're playing they're going to play a 4-3 scheme. We're going to play a 3-4 scheme this past week with the Cardinals, where these guys are strong 2-gap players that rush 5 and have 6 deep in coverage, right? Well, these guys don't play like that. And Thursday and Friday would have been a tremendous opportunity for us to get that look. Obviously, they have just coming off of a Super Bowl berth, tremendous opportunity. Sad we don't get that opportunity, but there will be plenty of chances on Sunday.
What do you make of Clint being in the booth to call plays? Did it affect anything on the field, or was it different for you guys?
Yeah, it was kind of all of our first runs at it. Most of the time, I've had the guys on the field calling the plays, but it was different. And credit to Clint, credit to Coach Janoko for a lot of that. Like quarterback coach exchange that's extremely important during dead balls and timeouts. There was a lot of good that came from it, and if that's where he's comfortable, that's the best place that he could be for us.
Outside the obvious of he's up farther, like what's different about it? Like you just someone else to huddle, like you're going to Janoka now instead of the OC, like what's different?
Well, you're going to your position coach, right? And again, it's all coming from the same mouth, which is great. That's paramount. That's the most important thing. And that doesn't change when the OC's on the field or the head coach is the guy calling the offensive plays. Most of the times you're hearing it from the position coach, because there's position-specific things that you need to know for each play, and he could always give you reminders for certain occurrences.
One of the things that Derek was talking about with this new coaching staff is that they're all on message. It's like they're all saying the same thing. It's not just like you hear 20 different things from. Like, is that important? And is that kind of impressed you as well?
No, it's vital. Again, like I just said, hearing one message from one mouth is extremely important because it builds culture, it builds accountability, it builds togetherness, like it builds camaraderie, it builds it's a team building exercise, right? So we're all hearing the same thing, we're all taking the same note, right? You could get the secondhand information, and that could be, it could be better, but a lot of the times it could be a lot worse. Just because you're not all hearing the same direct information. I love it. I love meeting together. I love hearing what Coach Janoco is telling the quarterbacks on certain plays, like why this is a 7-step drop, who we're looking at first, what we're not trying to hit, when to roll, like when to look for roll coverage, different stuff like that. It's awesome to hear JB, the O-line coach, telling the tackles what they're looking for on some of our wide zone tracks. It's just fantastic to always be able to be in the know, right, and not go have to hunt down the information.
I feel like we've been talking a lot about Dallin Holker for this campus. Is there anything that's impressed you on here?
Yeah, and I think he's done a number of things to be talked about. I love the kid. Unbelievable coming in. He's got a great personality. He's quiet, but he has a great sense of humor, and he's a very, very good football player. And we're going to look for him to, grow into a role to have some impact this year. Would be my hope for him. I think he's got tremendous talent, great wheels, good head on his shoulders, and great hair to boot.
Anything else?
Thanks, guys.